As you continue to work on your projects here in Asana, there will likely be times when you need to add additional tasks, maybe rearrange the order that those tasks appear as well, something we're going to explore in this movie. And we're going to do it in a different view. So far, we've been working in list view as we organize our sections and tasks of our Relocate HR to First Floor project. The one that was created from our Outlook email appears on its own in its own section, which isn't actually labeled. So let's go over to Board View by clicking Board up here at the top. Notice this looks a little bit different, kind of like a bulletin board with notes pinned on it. You see an untitled section here where our Research Moving Company's task that was created from Outlook appears all by itself. Then we see our sections appearing as columns. And we see an Add Section link that will allow us to create additional columns if we needed them. Below each of these columns, we see an Add Task button to add additional tasks. For example, preparation and backup that we see at the top here. Let's go to Add Task and type in Book IT to disconnect equipment. There we go. And you can just click in the background to lock that in. Now we might want to rearrange things. For example, booking IT to disconnect might have to happen first before we start backing things up. So we'll book them first by moving, just clicking and dragging. And you can see we can move it to different columns and different locations within a column. And when we release, we'll have reordered the tasks. So we'll at least book them, and then we can go ahead and start backing things up. Over here in our Untitled section, we see Research Moving Companies. That might be part of the preparation phase, so we can move that over here, maybe before Book IT, and release. That leaves us with an untitled section or column, which we really don't need. So go to the ellipses here, where you'll see more actions, including Delete Section. And because there are no tasks in this section or column, clicking Delete Section simply does it, and offers us an opportunity in the bottom left-hand corner to undo what we just did. I don't think we need to. Click the Close button to close up that message. So it's a different view. It's an easier view for moving things around, reorganizing your tasks and your sections. If you prefer the list view, we can flip back to list by simply clicking it up here at the top. Notice that that one task that was all by itself at the top now appears at the top of our Phase 1 section here, Preparation and Backup. Adding tasks to a project is a great way to plan out how your project's going to unfold, but until you assign those tasks to people and assign due dates to those tasks, it's not likely your project's going to get completed in a timely fashion with success. So, in this movie, we'll explore assigning people to tasks and assigning due dates to those tasks as well. Notice we're still looking at the Relocate HR to First Floor project in List View. And if we go down the list to the very first task in Phase 1, you'll notice there's an assignee column and a due date column, and there's information in there, and that's because we created this task from Outlook, and that allowed us to fill in information like who the task was being assigned to and the due date. The other tasks here that we created manually inside our project, we need to add that information. And here in List View, we can go to the details. You can click details or anywhere to the right of the name, or you can go directly to the column where it says assign this task and assign or add due date. Let's go to assign this task and click. From here, we see a list of names of people in the organization, not just team members, and we can go to anybody here to assign this. I want to assign it to Dahlia, so we'll select the name. And now we'll go to Add Due Date. Click there anywhere. Calendar pops up. We can type in a date or select it from the calendar. I'm going to choose next Monday. Notice down below, if the time is important as well, by the end of the day, we can add a time. Click there and use your scroll bar to scroll down to a specific time. You could also type it in if you wanted to. Just click in the background to close that up, and easily enough, we've added a due date and assigned this task to a person in our organization. Let's this time go to the next item on our list and click Details. That opens up a pane here on the right-hand side where we can add assignees. Tab A is your keyboard shortcut. Clicking here gives us that same list. And this one I'm going to assign to myself. And once that's assigned, I can now go over to the due date and choose from the calendar or type in a date. I'm going to go to the 19th. No need to add a time here, so I'll just click in the background, and that one's been assigned. Up here in the top right corner, we see a Close Details button. Escape is your keyboard shortcut to close that up, and you can see now our column for assignees and due dates is starting to fill up. If we go to the board view, it looks a little bit different. We can see our little cards here have some information showing up on them now, like the person who's been assigned, as well as due dates. And if we wanted to add those from here, notice as we hover over a card, little icons appear for assigning the task and adding the due date right from there. So we'll click Assign this task. We'll choose somebody from our list. I'm going to go with Jennifer and choose a due date. I'm going to choose the 22nd. No need for a due time, so I'll click in the background. And you can see how easy it is to assign people to these tasks and, of course, go in and add those due dates. Any of that information, including who you've assigned and the due dates, can be changed. Let's go back to List View. For example, if I look at this 22nd, I could go in here and click the X to remove it and go back and choose a different date. I'm thinking the 19th for that one as well. Easily done. And from our board view, we can also do the exact same thing. We can go to the ellipses now, and from here, look at all the different options we have for editing or accessing details. Clicking View Details opens up that details pane that we saw in List View, so we could go in here if we wanted to change that date. Just click it and choose a different date. I'm going to go to the weekend and click in the background. And that's updated. Press Escape or click the Close Details button. So your homework now, if you've been following along, is just to go in and fill in assignees and due dates to the rest of the tasks that appear in your project.